Hey guys, it's Kevin and a happy 4th of July to all of you. Hope you all are having a great 4th of July. Well, you will have a great 4th of July because, 4th of July just started. Um, so this is obviously going to be another classic movie for you guys. And in spite of it being the 4th of July, first of all, I have my most patriotic shirt possible. You guys have seen the shirt before. But yeah, there's that. Also, remember how last year I reviewed one movie for the 4th of July? That really was no 4th of July movie. I don't know what I was thinking. I just reviewed it. But this year is different because I'm not just reviewing one 4th of July movies, not two, not three, but five. Five 4th of July movies. They're not short. They'll be coming to you all day long. You guys are definitely going to be looking forward to that. And, I know some of you are going to say, like, one of them is not a 4th of July movie, but to me, I think it does show America. And these are movies that scream, America, fuck yeah, and just show the birth of our country. And I think they're just really good for the 4th of July. I wanted to do more movies, and I figured, why not just do a whole themed day of 4th of July movies? That's exactly what I'm going to do. And I think the best one to start out with is the one I'm going to start out with, and that is the 1972 historical musical drama classic 1776. Yes, 1776. This is a movie I've wanted to see for a while now. I don't know why I took so long to finally see it, but finally I watched it, and I'm very happy that I did watch it. And overall, what did I think? I really didn't know what to think about going into 1776, though, because of course it is a musical based on like the Continental Congress, and I didn't really know if it would work, and plus like the length was kind of crazy and kind of like a lot to ask for. But overall, what did I think of 1776? I, for the most part, really love this movie. I think this is a really good movie. By the way, guys, you can actually catch this movie today on Turner Classic Movies at 3 o'clock. They're airing it then. If you guys are interested, check it out then. They'll probably be showing it on a lot of stations throughout the day. I'm not really sure. But, this is like the ideal 4th of July movie. If you guys want to see a movie that screams just America, fuck yeah, this is the movie to watch. Honestly, it is. Because what is this movie about? It is about the journey leading to signing the Declaration of Independence, the different complications that has, and sort of the stories created that, sort of the problems that arise in the middle of it, and eventually the agreement to sign the Declaration of Independence to what we now know it is today, and basically the birth of our country was born. That basically is a plot of 1776, and I think it's a really good plot, and it's one of those movies where you really don't think it should work, but it actually works very well. I only have a few minimal complaints with this movie. Is this movie perfect? No. Is it the best musical I've ever seen? No. In fact, that's one of my complaints. But one of the things I think that works so well in this movie is the acting. The acting is really good because everyone's having a lot of fun. Nobody feels miscasted. And for the most part, they're really good here. William Daniels as John Adams. Yes, Mr. Feeney. I never really thought of Mr. Feeney being able to sing, but he was really good as John Adams. I really liked his character. He's not really well respected by everyone in this movie. Now, some people have said this movie is historically inaccurate. I will get into that, but the character of John Adams, I thought William Daniels did a very good job with that. You really cared about his character. His character is kind of an asshole at times, but I thought he did a really good job for the most part, and I really enjoyed his character, definitely. I mean, there are a lot of things he has to go through in this movie. I mean, everyone's putting pressure on him to, figure out what to do with Declaration of Independence, and you see how stressed out he is. Plus, there's this really great subplot with his wife, Abigail, where she's sent away, basically, while he is somewhere, somewhere completely, I believe she's in, like, Colorado. I believe that's where she is. I believe. But basically, he has these, fantasies of her, like, helping him out, and I thought that really added to his character. I thought, for the most part, he was really good, and I definitely really enjoyed his character. Howard De Silva as Benjamin Franklin, I thought was also really good in the movie. The bonding between John Adams and Benjamin Franklin, obviously, is one of the best parts of the movie. I think they did a great job. Ken Howard as Thomas Jefferson, he was great in the movie. I thought he was really funny at points as well because, he really does the whole writer's block subplot very well. And again, he's also separated from his wife, but he's not upset that he's separated from his wife, more that he just craves for sexual desire, which I thought was kind of funny the way they did that. But for the most part, definitely he was really good. John Cullum as Edward Rutledge. He has this one huge standout song. Holy shit, he was amazing in that scene. He did a great job. Donald Madden as John Dickinson was great as well. Everyone was fantastic in this movie. Ron Holgate as Richard Henry, probably the most theatrical out of all of them, and I still thought he did a great job, and for the most part, everyone was really good. If you guys don't know, this was based on a musical that was very popular back then. I believe it won a lot of Tonys and things like that, and because of it being as successful, that's why they turned to this movie. And also, they got most of the people from that movie to be in this musical. The directing, let's get to the directing in this movie. The directing could have gone either way. Also, with the acting, though, I will say this. One of the reasons, again, it works so well is because they all work so well as an ensemble. Honestly, they all work great. They all look like they're having tons of fun, and they know what this is. It's a very self-aware movie, and I definitely really enjoyed that. They all did a great job with their roles, and that's something I thought was definitely very well pulled off. Now, the directing by Peter H. Hunt is very important directing here, and something that I definitely want to point out is his directing. One of the reasons being because this movie could have gone either way. I mean, yeah, it is a stage musical, and yeah, it does work there, but I've said this before, what works on stage doesn't necessarily translate well on screen. Here, I think he translated really well, honestly. His directing was really good. I think the movie was surprisingly very fun. He directed in a very fun way, and he made it in a way that wasn't boring. I'll talk about this in the screenplay, but I thought for the most part the directing was really good in this movie. The locations was really good, and that's something that was really important. The screenplay, though, in my opinion, is probably the best part of this movie. It is honestly hilarious at points. It is hilarious to watch. I mean, they make fun of so many things in the movie, and I love that. Because most of the movie, you know, it's a bunch of men in this confined room. It's about 1,000,000 degrees outside, really it is, and they have to wear these really, like, wool clothes, because that's what they had to wear back then, and the way they poke fun at that, I thought was so great. Some of the best scenes were just the interactions between these men. They can't stand each other, and them just, like, calling each other out. I mean, yeah, it's really dramatic, but they do it in a way that's kind of just fun. I like the way they did that, definitely. And I like the movie wasn't afraid to have fun with itself, and that's something I thought was really good. While the movie, some people do complain the movie's historically inaccurate, me personally, I really didn't care because they didn't really change too much, and here's the thing. We'll never officially know what these characters are like because no one just sat and, like, there were no, like, there was nothing to record them. There are, like, documents and things like that, but for the most part, no one can say, like, oh, that's exactly John Adams, that's exactly Benjamin Franklin, you know, that's exactly Thomas Jefferson. Nobody can say that because there's no way to record these people, so I really didn't have a problem with, like, the portrayals of anyone or the historical inaccuracies. For the most part, the movie was actually a lot of fun. I definitely really like that. The movie does definitely portray, like, show, you know, them signing the Declaration of Independence very well. I mean, the movie has a lot of tension at points as well. I mean, some of my favorite scenes are just them, are us figuring out how these things came to be. Like, for example, how did they get this bird? How did the eagle become the symbol of America? The Declaration of Independence, there was this whole thing with, like, the slave trade. They wanted slaves to be able to get the rights too, but they just couldn't pass them. I thought that was really interesting. A lot of stories like that I just thought were really fascinating, and I really liked that, and definitely, for the most part, were very well done. The writing, for the most part, was really spot on, I have to say. Honestly, it could have been... And the other thing in this movie is that it could have been really boring. I'm not saying I don't like political movies. I do. But movies like this, I probably would get bored out of my mind, honestly. But the way that Peter Stone wrote it was so witty at points, and it's so funny and keeps you engaged in the story, and I definitely really love the way he did that. The cinematography is great to this movie. This isn't a movie that really needs that good of cinematography, but it definitely looks like the 1776. You feel like you're in that time period. It doesn't look like cheap sets either. That's something I was worried about. I was worried because this was the 70s that it was going to be all, like, cheap sets, and they didn't really care as much. No, they put a big budget on this, and, like, you can see that they really went all out, and that's awesome that they did that. I love it they went all out to do that, and I thought the cinematography really paid off because that, honestly, worked out really well, and I was very happy with the results of the cinematography. If I had to have some complaints in the movie, it would go into the music. Now, going into this movie, you don't know if it's going to work, obviously, because it's a very ballsy movie. I mean, it's a movie about the Continental Congress, but it's a musical. How the hell does this work? Does it work for the most part? Yes, a lot of the songs are very good. However, there were a couple songs, especially in the second half. I'd say the first half, I really was enjoying the songs. I was really into them. Second half of the movie, I'd say, like, when we get into, like, what would be Act 2 of the Broadway show, the songs started to just get kind of boring, and we're all kind of the same. I mean, we go from these really fun songs, and then we get to songs I just felt were kind of pointless, and we didn't really need. A lot of the songs in the second half of the movie didn't really feel that necessary to me, minus one song about the slave trade that is amazing and really gets to your heart, and I thought they handled that very well, I have to say. And here's the other thing of the movie. We know the outcomes. Like, we know what's going to end up in the Declaration of Independence. We know that they're going to pass it. We know this stuff, honestly. We know this stuff, but they portray it in such a way that you honestly don't know what's going to happen next, and I love the way the movie did that. I didn't expect the movie to be as edge of your seat as it was. Hang on one second, guys. Sorry, that was my alarm. I guess I had set that up before, but I didn't expect the movie to be as edge of your seat as it was, and that's something I thought was really well done. I didn't think they'd do that, but that's something I honestly really appreciate in the movie. It never settled down, like, it really got crazy, and I like the movie wasn't afraid to do that. But like I said, the songs, some of them are just kind of hit or miss. Like, some of them are really fun, and some of them I really do enjoy, but a lot of them were kind of just the same for me and didn't really have a lot to them. Also, if you're looking for a musical with really good female characters, this is not that musical. There are two characters in this movie, one that I feel is pointless, the other I feel really has a lot of impact to the movie, and I thought was really good. Also, I forgot to say, you do care about all the characters, all of them are very good. You know, these are historical figures, and I think they portrayed them in a very respectable way, which in a very respectful way, which was really good. If I had to have another complaint in the movie, though, it would be the editing. I feel like the editing was a bit choppy at points. Now, this was the director's cut version, aka the DVD version, aka the only version available. You will never find the original theatrical cut. It was destroyed, honestly. They cut a song out, and ever since they cut it out, basically, it's destroyed. They said, like, you will never see that version ever because it's destroyed. And that honestly may be the best way because for the most part, I thought the length was fine. It was a bit too long though. There were some scenes kind of, when they're in Congress and everything, I was like, okay, can we move this up a little bit? Kind of boring. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, I get the point. You don't have to keep going on about it. And, that was just really the only thing for me. I just felt like it went on a bit too long. But for the most part, I still really enjoyed it, I have to say. And honestly, I wouldn't want to remake this movie. I've heard people say they should remake this movie. That could be interesting, but I honestly feel they gave the best portrayal of this movie they could. I mean, what do you want from them? This is a musical about the Continental Congress. It could have been a disaster, and it really wasn't. That's the thing we should be thankful for, that it wasn't a disaster. Like, that's something I thought was really good. For a movie about the Congress, done as a musical, again, it was probably the best film we could have gotten. And I can totally understand if someone doesn't like this film. Seriously, I can understand if someone hates it. Honestly, I see the complaints. It can be really dumb. And some people think the movie's really weird, but you know what? The movie goes with it. The movie, yeah, there are some things that are kind of strange, like, why do we have a whole subplot involving Thomas Jefferson and, like, his wife? That was kind of strange the way they did that. Why do we randomly see Martha Jefferson in one scene and then she just disappears? I don't understand that either. Little things like that, though, you just have to go with the movie. It's just a fun movie. You have to know what you're getting into. This is actually a very fun movie at points. That's something I didn't really expect. But I will say, the way they end this movie truly feels like that's what you've been waiting for, honestly. The way the movie ends, it feels like that's why I came to watch this movie. That's the payoff we needed, and that was perfect. Honestly, I was very happy by it. I was like, you know what? That was perfect. And they could have done a much more, like, Broadway ending. I like that they ended the movie the way we know. The Declaration of Independence gets passed, and I thought that was really good. I definitely really love that. And the way they end, I thought was overall very well done. So I couldn't really have asked for a better ending. And honestly, if you're looking for the best movie to watch on 4th of July, I would say this is the movie, because It shows the birth of our country. It shows how far we've come as a, how far we've come as a country, why we celebrate the 4th of July, because people actually don't know why. It's stupid, but there are literally people that are like, why do we celebrate 4th of July? They're like, if you don't know, watch this movie, then you'll know. But, that's that's of course why we celebrate 4th of July. And if you guys want a really good movie for the 4th of July, this is definitely the movie for that. So overall, guys, this is my review of 1776. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie. You have seen it. I really do recommend you check out this movie. As I said, it's not perfect, but I would still give it a 4.5 out of 5 or an A-. I overall really love this movie. I had a great time with it. It was a lot of fun. It did switch tone. I had a problem with the tone change at first, but then as the movie went on, I'm like, you know what? This tone change was necessary. It really was. Because first, this movie's really fun. Then it gets really serious towards the second half. And wasn't a problem for me, but it seemed like after that one scene with, like, Martha and, the whole, what do you call it? I can't call it. I don't know what trio of, the song between John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and, Martha Jefferson. After that whole scene, for me, the movie got really dramatic, and it was fine that it got dramatic. It just kind of took me off guard a little bit, but other than that, this movie is very fun. It's a great movie in general. It really does tell the story very well. Sure, there are some historical inaccuracies, but if you can overlook them, and if you can, go with it, then I think you will overall really enjoy this movie. And again, I can understand if you don't, but for the most part, I think the average casual viewer who loves the 4th of July, you don't have to be a history buff as well to like this movie. That's something I will say. You don't have to be a history buff, honestly. If you're a history buff, then great, but you don't have to be, like, into history to enjoy this movie. You'll enjoy this movie for what it is, and that's something I think is really good overall. So that's basically my review, 1776. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for another classic movie review. I will be reviewing more 4th of July movies. There's another one coming your way. I know you guys can't wait for it. And I will see you guys. Well, I think you guys are looking forward to it at least. I hope you are. Really, I hope you are. But I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great 4th of July, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.